Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Blake and I am a recently retired collegiate athlete taking on life after sports to live a fit and healthy life. So welcome to my channel. If you are new here, hit that subscribe button and be sure to like this video, give it a thumbs up so that I know you're enjoying the content and I can keep creating for y'all to get entertainment off of
the mess I call my life.
Alrighty, so today we are going to be talking about, well, I'm kind of just going to be chatting with y'all about an update on how my cut's going and some circumstances when everything goes wrong. Yeah, so let's get into the video. Today we are going to be talking about my cut, how it's going, and dealing with things when they don't go as planned. And so this is really going to be like a pretty quick video. I just want to talk through some things. This is not actually the video I had planned for today to come out on Friday, but I wanted to
be real and keep it real
and talk about some things that I feel like are slightly encouraging because obviously if I'm somebody who feels comfortable going on the internet and talking about how I'm trying to lose weight and things like that, and I do know how to successfully lose weight, I've done it before, but when things don't go right for you, it's not like that doesn't happen to everybody. I feel like it does happen to everybody, and things get in the way of your end goal. And so that's what I want to talk about today. I just want to chat for a little bit. I don't want this video to be discouraging in any way, but I just want to chat. I just want to be real. I want to be transparent throughout this process, and also I want to explain kind of my adjustments maybe moving forward. Let's talk about my cut and how it's going first off. So I started phase 1 of the cutting process almost 3 whole weeks ago. So I'm filming this video on a Thursday. Sunday coming up would mark 3 weeks. And so my initial plan was to do 3 weeks in a deficit and then 1 week at maintenance and then 3 weeks in a deficit, 1 week at maintenance. It did not go to plan. I spent 2 full weeks in a deficit. The 2 weeks went great. I had actually like 12 straight days of really, really like good, no mess ups. And that's actually the longest I've ever gone. Stuff happens and we have stuff that, or we overindulge in things, and that's inevitable when you are dieting, unless you are super, super good at like cracking down on yourself. But I'm human, and well, quite frankly, I'm not really that good at that. But yeah, I had 12 straight days. I also was really starting to feel really tight. You know, when you're in that part of your deficit or diet where you just feel really like tight and lean and you feel things like really coming together. I hit that point like toward the beginning and halfway through week 2. I really started to like every morning I would wake up and I would feel really good and feel really tight. Even if the scale wasn't moving, I looked leaner, I looked better. Basically that whole second week I was really starting to feel that. And the scale was going down and my body fat percentage actually did get under 30%, which was my most recent and lowest low so far. And then week 3 started, or actually the end of week 2. So after the 12-day mark, actually last week around this time, I started to get some really strong cravings, you know, hitting that period of about 10 days before your period. That's when it hits for me. And what my original plan was to go up to maintenance for the week of my period, but I think I kind of made a mistake and in that calculation, and I should actually go up to maintenance the week before because my cravings are worse that week. Part of the reason why I wanted to do that diet break and calorie cycling was because of the cravings on my period, other than the metabolic advantages of doing that and the health benefits of doing that. That was the other reason. For me, psychologically, I know that I would do better if I had something to look forward to as far as like bumping up my calories. Also, I do want to say that this is the first time I've ever done something like this in a super structured way. And so there is a little bit of a learning curve. For me, I've done different versions of calorie cycling. I've done where I do the 3 weeks and then 1 week I just literally take a break from tracking my calories. And that can kind of lead to some binge-like tendencies. And then I've also done where I do I'll track for 7 days. And this maybe doesn't have anything to do with cutting or bulking or anything like that, but I'll track for like 6 days, and then 1 day a week I won't make myself track. And again, that kind of led to some poor tendencies, even if I wasn't restricting in any way at that time. But some days you just don't want to hit the numbers, you know? And so I used to do that. But now I really wanted to do this in a structured way where when I go back up to maintenance, I'm hitting my maintenance calories, I'm keeping my protein high, I'm still trying to be in a certain range with my calorie breakdown and stuff. And that didn't really go to plan. And that's what I want to talk about, and just how I'm dealing with that mentally. I didn't go like completely off banana or like out of whack or anything like that. I didn't really track. And I can attribute this to a couple different things. One, without getting too personal, I am having some issues with my birth control that I'm currently on. And so I have made some decisions to adjust and kind of fix that problem for myself. But again, I don't want to get too personal about into like, all that. Um, and then the second reason, I did actually just have finals week. So I am officially done with my undergrad as of today. But I did just do a week and a half of finals and my senior capstone and everything like that. So that's stressful, to be completely fair. Like, I just kind of let that get the best of me, and I guess, wanted a break. But like I said, my cut was going really well. I didn't feel deprived. Nothing was really seriously affecting me, and so that's why I was a little surprised that this week went so far off of the rails for me, because everything was going seemingly fine. That's why I've made some adjustments with my birth control and things like that, and I've made some decisions in regards to that, because I do think some of it is unrelated to like myself and my own personal control. Like, I don't really, not that you don't have control over things, I think we all still have control, but just to preface, like, I do think that there's something else going on, and so I am going to handle that in a separate way. But to be completely fair and to update you thoroughly, as of, when I was cutting, I had lost about a pound. So that was pretty good. For 2 weeks, I lost a little bit over a pound. That's right where I want to be hitting. I don't really want to lose any faster than that. So anywhere from half a pound to a pound and a half max a week is my range that I'm aiming for. And I was about a pound and a half for 12 days. So that's pretty good. I feel really good about that. That means I'm probably going to keep my calories where they're at. I also was doing really good with my workouts. I feel really good during my workouts. Feel like I'm getting the most out of them. So my workouts during the first 2 weeks were really good. I honestly have worked out twice this week. It is only Thursday, so I worked out. Well, I actually worked out 3 times this week. I guess it's not really that bad. I worked out Sunday, which I usually do. I did like a mini workout on Monday, and then I did like a more full workout again on Tuesday. So I'm not doing horrible, but usually I only take Wednesday off, and then I have Wednesday and Saturday off. But Wednesday I still usually do like mobility and things like that. I haven't really done any mobility this week. I haven't really done, well, I feel like I just haven't done a lot. But again, I think it's because I just feel puffy and immobile and that kind of thing. The other thing I am going to throw in this week because of the circumstances, unrelated to like overeating or anything, I want to be clear before I say this, because I don't want anyone to think that this is a tool for weight loss. I am going to be implementing a 24-hour fast tomorrow actually, but it is not for weight loss. It is not because I ate too much. It's not for anything like that. It is not a binge purge type thing. I am doing it for digestive health, for bloating, and for period symptoms, which there is research to suggest that helps with bloating and digestive health. And there's also some anecdotal and small research studies that do suggest fasting can help with period symptoms. I do really enjoy fasting. That is actually something that I have implemented in the past. I have implemented intermittent fasting in the past, and just regular 24-hour fasts here and there. I haven't done anything longer than a 36-hour fast. You should consult with a physician with any type of fasting to make sure it's good for your body. There are certain populations that it does not work for and is not good for. And so make sure if you have any underlying medical conditions or anything like that, you are consulting with a physician about these types of things. But I am completely healthy otherwise, so I have implemented fasts in the past and fasting in the past. And I haven't done one in a while, so that's the other reason I'm doing it. I do like to do them like quarterly, just to keep your body doing things properly. And since I don't regularly intermittent fast, I do think it is nice to throw in a 24-hour fast every once in a while. I will be throwing in a fast tomorrow. My boyfriend and I are going to do it together because it's always good to have numbers and support.
Especially when you have a bunch of Girl Scout cookies and snacks in your kitchen.
I want to talk a little bit more about what to do when things go wrong. So I'm going to list a few tips here for you about what to do when things go wrong. So my first tip, if you're cutting really good and you just have a day where everything goes wrong and hits the fan, first off, your body works on averages, okay? So if you have one day, you've had 2 straight weeks of being really good, hitting your calories, you're doing a fantastic job, and you have one day where you just, everything got thrown out the window that day, you don't know what happened, but you ate way too much, it's okay. Because guess what? You have 2 weeks of a perfect deficit behind you, and one day is not going to throw you out of that deficit. Now, if you're doing that every 3 days, yes, it might throw you out of the deficit. And what I would say, if this is happening as frequent as every 3 days or every other day, or maybe even once a week, I would say is too much, you need to consider upping your calories to a more sustainable level. Because if you are having binge episodes or large overeating episodes, you need to reconsider the amount of calories you are trying to cut on, because there is a good possibility that you might be cutting at too low of calories. So I will link down below, and at the end of this video, my how to set up a calorie deficit video. It was one of my first videos. Well, I only have 5, so these are all one of my first videos. But I will link that at the end of this video so that you can refer to it and go look at how to set up your deficit. I do think that this is a very important step in your journey and in your process, because if you don't set up the proper calorie deficit, it is going to throw off your progress and your success. You will have situations where you are massively overeating because you just cannot sustain that low of calories. This happened to me in the past. It happens to a lot of people. If you don't know how to set up the calorie deficit properly, it is more likely to happen to you, and that is okay, but you just need to approach the process in a more proper way for your body, because everybody is different. But when it does happen, when you have a situation where, okay, it happens, you overate too much the night before, okay, it's the next morning, what should you do? Don't change anything. And I know that sounds weird, but if you're doing really well in your deficit, you don't need to bump the calories any lower. You need to stay right where you are and keep going. And this is if it's not happening that often. Like I said, if this is happening every few days, every other day, every 3 days, and you are unable to sustain your deficit, you need to bump your calories up. But if this is happening once in a blue moon, you just had one little instance of overeating, you've had 2 weeks where you felt really fine, you really, really honestly, genuinely have felt fine on this deficit. But you had a moment, you ate too much, maybe you went out with friends, maybe you drank a little, whatever. Don't freak out. Don't change anything. Don't cut your calories lower the next day. Don't exercise extra the next day. Don't change anything. You are still in a deficit. One day did not throw you out. Don't freak out. And I think that's so imperative for people to realize, because if you get into a habit of, okay, I overate this day, I need to bump my calories lower this day to make up for it, because now you're in an even bigger deficit, that's going to cause you to maybe overeat again in a couple days because you decided to drop too low and now your body's in an even bigger deficit. That's not healthy. That creates a very bad pattern that you can get yourself into. Now, the other thing I will say is, if you have been dieting for a long time and you see that this pattern is starting to happen, every couple weeks you start to overeat and you've been in a straight deficit this whole time for more than 3 weeks, I would say, you should really consider doing a diet break. Because obviously your body's kind of yo, dude, we're noticing that we're in a deficit and we've been in a deficit for a really long time. We need food. And you know where the food's at, so give us the food. So your body's noticing this, okay? So you need to listen to your body and let yourself off of the diet, go up to your maintenance calories for 2 weeks, and then go back into a deficit. Or go up to your maintenance calories for at least a week, and then go back into a deficit. 1, this is going to make your deficit more effective. And 2, it's going to make you feel so much better, like psychologically and physically. And then you're going to be able to take on the rest of your deficit. I will link, again, the same video where I talk about cycling your cutting and dieting breaks and how to set that up for yourself. I will link that at the end of this video and down in the description box so that you can refer to that in more detail. And then that video also has some studies that talk about this. There are also a ton of other videos on YouTube that talk about this more in depth, and so definitely look into that. But I will refer you to my video that I have on it because I do think that it is helpful, and just that video in general has a lot of good information, like also setting up a proper calorie deficit and that kind of thing. So I will link that down below. I will say I have a video coming out that I'm going to be filming tomorrow, I think, about cravings, because I have figured out some really good craving busters throughout this cut.
Obviously this week, again, everything went out the window. I ate whatever I wanted and it was fine, and I'm fine, but
I have figured out some really good regular craving busters that have been very helpful. And I think the most important tip in regards to this, and I talked about this in my last video that went up on Tuesday, don't deprive yourself. Life is too short to not eat the damn chocolate, okay? So eat the chocolate, eat the ice cream, just make sure you're doing it in moderation. Make sure you are able to satisfy your craving without going overboard. Because if you're just restricting yourself, then you're going to have moments where you're like, I haven't had chocolate in like 3 weeks and I'm going crazy. Like, I need all the chocolate. That is not okay. So just let yourself have it. It's okay. It's not going to kill your gains. It's not going to kill your abs. It's really not going to affect you as much as people think. Don't demonize the foods that you love just because you want to get abs. Like, don't do that to yourself. Love yourself. Love your body. I hope that this video was helpful. Please, please, please don't get discouraged if you have mess ups or mishaps throughout this journey. It's a freaking marathon, not a sprint. Let your journey happen over time. Don't rush it. Figure out the kinks along the way, and I'm right there with you. So if you really enjoyed this video, please, please, please hit that thumbs up. Show me some love. And if you're new to this channel, again, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you along this journey. I'll have some fresh content here like this where I just talk to y'all, or maybe some more exciting ones coming up. So hit that subscribe button, hit the thumbs up for me, and yeah, let's get fit, let's get healthy, let's do this.